My child, I am asking you with all the weight of heaven behind my words. Do not turn away from this moment. Do not let your eyes grow heavy, and do not walk away before I have finished speaking. I know you are tired. I know you have heard many promises before, and I know how long you have waited until even hope itself began to feel like a burden. But you cannot skip this. What I am about to speak into your life is too important to miss. Something is happening around you right now that you cannot yet see. Two things are moving toward you at the same time. One is the answer you have been crying out for in the early hours when no one could hear you. The other is a danger quiet and unexpected that has been forming at the edges of your life. I am speaking now because of both. If you stay with me, you will receive the one and be guarded from the other. This is not a small matter. I am not talking about an ordinary blessing, the kind that comes and goes with the seasons. I am talking about the one you have been asking for, the one you have carried in your chest like a stone, the one you stopped mentioning out loud because it hurt too much to keep saying it. Hear me clearly, that answer is not lost. It has not been forgotten on some high shelf of heaven. I have been holding it, and I have been arranging every detail around it, every circumstance, every person, every open door, so that when it arrives, nothing can take it from you. The timing was never careless, it was exact, but I need something from you in this hour. I need your attention. I need your faith to be awake, not drowsy, not half-hearted, not divided between 100 worries. An answer that is not received with faith passes by, like rain on hard ground. It falls, but nothing grows. I do not want that for you. I want the ground of your heart soft and ready. The enemy of your soul understands what is at stake tonight. He sees what stands ready in the unseen world, and it terrifies him. That is why your mind keeps wandering. That is why sleep is pulling at you. That is why a voice inside keeps whispering that this can wait until tomorrow, that nothing will change, that you have heard it all before. That voice is not mine. I tell you the truth. There is a moment appointed for this word, and the moment is now. Not because my power fades tomorrow. My power fades never. But there are hours when heaven leans close to a single life, and this is one of those hours for you. Miss it, and you will still be loved, still be mine. But you will have walked past an open door without knowing it was open. If your faith is awake right now and you refuse to let this hour pass you by, like this message before you read on. Subscribe so my voice can keep finding you in the hours that matter most, and type "I am awake" in the comments, so heaven knows you did not sleep through this one. Think back over your life for a moment. Remember the times you almost gave up, but something you could not name held you in place. Remember the nights you decided it was over, and morning came anyway, and you rose anyway. Remember the moments you should have fallen and did not fall. That was not luck. That was my hand. Every one of those moments was a thread pulling you toward this one. You did not find this message by accident. I led you here. I stirred something in you before you understood what you were reaching for, and I set this hour aside long before you knew you would need it. When you felt yourself at the very end of your strength, I was already preparing what I would say to you now, so let the disappointments of the past step aside. They are real, and I do not dismiss them. You believed before, and felt nothing change. You hoped before, and watched the hope come back empty. I know, but do not let yesterday's closed doors convince you that every door is closed. The wounds of the past make poor prophets. They only know how to predict more of the same, and they are wrong about what is coming. I see the exhaustion behind your eyes. I see how heavy your heart has grown from carrying questions no one could answer. You have prayed and fasted and wept, and it seemed the sky was silent. You have asked in secret, "Is any of this real? Will anything ever actually change for me?" And I answer you now with all the authority of my throne. Yes, it is real. Yes, it is worth it. Yes, something is about to change. There is a reason you feel the way you feel, and I will show it to you before this word is finished. The heaviness you carry is not weakness, and it is not proof that you have been abandoned. Some of it is the weight of a long road. Some of it is a warning I have been sounding inside you, a signal you have not yet learned to read tonight. I will teach you to read it. Stay with me then. Keep your heart open and your spirit still in the moments ahead. I will show you what I have been doing in secret while you thought nothing was happening. I will show you why certain prayers seem to go unanswered. I will name the barriers that have stood between you and what I prepared, and I will break them. And I will warn you plainly and in love about what is quietly approaching, so that it never touches you. You are not here to be entertained. You are here because I called you one soul by name into a meeting I arranged. Heaven is not speaking to a crowd right now. Heaven is speaking to you. Let that settle over you like a covering. Let it quiet the noise in your mind. The answer is closer than it has ever been. The warning has come in time. Nothing about this hour is random, and nothing about it will be wasted if you remain. Declare your Amen right now if your heart is awake and ready to receive. Now, let me show you what you could not see while you were living your days, facing your battles, and holding yourself together in front of people who never guessed how hard it was. I was working, not resting, not delaying, working behind the curtain of the visible world. I was moving piece after piece into position so that at the right moment everything would align for you at once. I have been moving people. The help you need is already alive, already walking the earth, already carrying the answer that belongs to your situation. You have not met them yet, but I have been steering their steps and yours toward a single crossing point. The right person, the right place, the right hour. When your paths meet, you will call it chance. It will not be chance. I have been loosening provision. Resources that sat locked for years are being released. Streams of supply you never knew existed are being turned toward you. You will receive from directions that make no earthly sense, and you will know it was my hand because no other explanation will survive. I am the God who brings water out of rock. Lack does not intimidate me. I have been changing circumstances that looked permanent. Problems that outlasted your prayers. Situations so old you stopped bringing them to me. Doors that stayed shut for years, no matter how you knocked. I am dealing with them now. Some of what changes will change so quickly that you will hardly have time to be amazed before the next change arrives. And I have set my messengers around you, mighty ones sent from my throne, with orders that concern you by name. They do not sleep, they are not distracted. They fight battles in the unseen world that you will never have to know about, removing obstacles you never saw, closing off paths that would have harmed you, holding open the way I have chosen. Let me tell you what stands ready in the unseen world at this very hour. There are decrees written and sealed, orders from my throne that overturn impossible situations. And your name is on them. Your turnaround is not an idea I am considering. It is a command I have already given, waiting for the appointed moment of delivery. There is provision measured out and held in trust, enough for the need you pray about and more beyond it. There is healing prepared, restoration for what is worn and wounded in you. The kind of mending that reaches places no physician can reach. There are keys cut for doors that have refused you for years. Doors of opportunity, doors of relationship, doors of purpose. When those doors open, no one will be able to shut them. There are chains lying broken that once held you, chains of fear, of heaviness, of habits that kept circling back. In the unseen world, they are already snapped. What remains is for you to feel that freedom arrive in your days, in your body, in your mind, and you will feel it. And there is a robe, a new identity, dignity in place of shame. So you can stand as a child of the King and not as a beggar at the gate. All of this stands ready. So you may ask, why has it not come sooner? Hear this carefully, because I will not answer you with easy sayings. The timing was never about your worth. It was about position. The person who will open the first door for you was not yet standing where they needed to stand. The resource that will carry you was not yet loosed from the hands that held it. Certain doors could not open for you, until other doors, ones you will never know about, had quietly closed. A harvest gathered before its time rots in the storehouse. A foundation loaded before it sets cracks under the weight. I do not insult you by pretending the long wait did not cost you anything. It cost you. I watched what it cost you. And I did not look away, but I would not hand you something built to last a lifetime one day before it could stand. I do not move by the clocks of men, I move by the calendar of heaven. And on that calendar, your moment is not overdue. It is exact. Not one day early when the pieces were still scattered. Not one day late when your heart might have hardened past receiving now. So understand what kind of moment you are standing in. The people are in place. The provision is loosed. The decrees are sealed. The messengers are positioned. The doors are unlocked. Heaven has done its part, and heaven waits on one thing only, a heart open enough to receive what has been prepared. This is why the pull to walk away has been so strong tonight. This is why distraction after distraction has clawed at your attention. Nothing fights this hard against an empty room. The resistance you feel is itself a witness that something real is at stake. Do not harden yourself against hope, because hope has hurt you before. I know the reflex. You brace against believing so the fall will be shorter. But you cannot brace and receive at the same time. Open hands cannot make fists. I am asking you to open your hands. You have spent years asking me to move. I am telling you tonight, I have moved. I am moving now. The question of this hour is no longer whether I will act. The question is whether you will stand in the place where my action lands awake. Believing with your face toward me, remain in that place. Do not drift. In a little while, I will show you the hidden things that have blocked your receiving, and I will deal with each one. But first, let your spirit answer heaven. Say, I believe out loud if this word is reaching the deep places of your spirit. Now I want to answer the question you have carried the longest. You have wondered whether your prayers ever reached me at all. You prayed in the dark when sleep would not come. You prayed behind a locked door so no one would hear your voice break. You prayed on lonely roads in whispers, in half-finished sentences, in silence when words ran out. My child, not one of those prayers fell short of my throne. Not one. The prayers you were ashamed of, the angry ones, the doubting ones, the ones that were more groan than speech. Those reached me too. I did not grade them. I received them. A parent does not turn away a child because the child cried instead of speaking properly. I heard everything underneath your words, even the things you could not bring yourself to say. But you have asked, if you heard me, why did you not answer? Hear me now. I answered every prayer. What I did not always do was answer in the shape you expected or on the day you circled in your heart. and so some of my answers passed by you unrecognized, like a friend in unfamiliar clothes. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission will grow into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Giving to this work through the link in the description and the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not just go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through hearts that are kind. You prayed for that position, and it went to another, and the refusal stung you. But I saw where that road led. It would have paid you in silver and cost you in things silver cannot buy back. I turned you from it because I have work for you that will not grind you down to earn your bread. What I have prepared will meet you at the right hour, and you will understand then why every other door stayed shut. You prayed for that relationship and it came apart, and you carried the rejection like a wound that would not close. But I saw what you could not see from inside it. I saw who that person would become to you in 5 years. In 10, my love for you would not let you build a life on that ground. The loneliness that followed was bitter, I know, but bitter medicine is still medicine. You prayed for healing, and the sickness lingered, and you began to wonder whether I had the power or simply did not care. I have the power. I do care. And restoration is moving toward you in the body, and deeper than the body. Some mending I do in a moment, and some I do the way spring thaws a frozen field. Slowly, thoroughly past all argument, yours is coming. Do not let its pace convince you of its absence. You prayed for provision, and the numbers would not add up, and you sat with your accounts and your fear in the small hours. I watched you carry that weight, and I never once carried it lightly myself. But I was teaching you where your security lives, not in a sum, not in a harvest that can fail in me. The one who learns that lesson can be trusted with plenty, because plenty will never own them. My child, I am asking you to place a portion of what you have, something of real weight, upon the altar of this work, as gold laid on the scales of this calling. Let it be a seed sown into deep water, an offering set on stone, not held back in fear. This is proof that your trust rests in my hand to provide, and that your heart no longer clings to lack. What you release in faith does not leave your life. It moves ahead of you into the harvest I am preparing. Now let your heart rest here for a moment, because I am not finished explaining. There is a difference between a prayer denied and a prayer held. Most of yours were held the way a wise father holds a letter until the child is old enough to read it, held the way rain is held in the cloud until the seed is actually in the ground. Nothing you asked in faith was thrown away. It was kept. And what was kept is now being released. Think of Joseph in the pit. Then in the prison, year after year, his life read like a story of a man forgotten. Yet every one of those years, I was moving him closer to the palace, not further from it. The road made no sense until the day it suddenly made perfect sense. Your road is of the same kind. It will make sense all at once. And soon think of Hannah, who wept in the temple year after year with empty arms. Those around her misread her sorrow, and even the priest misjudged her at first. But her prayer had been heard from the beginning, and when the answer came, it was not merely a child. It was a prophet who would anoint kings. What I hold back, I return with interest. So do not measure my love by the length of your waiting. Measure it by this: you are still standing. The thing that should have broken you did not break you. The years that should have emptied you did not empty you, not completely, or you would not be here now, listening, with something in your chest still daring to hope. I preserve that ember. I would not let it go out, and understand this also. The silence you endured was never absence. I was closer in those nights than you have ever known, when you spoke into the dark and heard nothing. I was nearer than the dark. There are seasons when I keep silence. The way a physician keeps still hands steady, not because he feels nothing, but because the work is delicate, and he will not slip. That season is closing. The held answers are being released, one after another, in an order I have chosen, so that each one strengthens you to receive the next. What comes first will steady you. What comes after will amaze you, if you believe I was nearer than the dark in your hardest nights. Like this message, as your way of saying thank you for staying close. Subscribe so you never miss the next answer as it is released to you. And type "I receive it" in the comments, so that what I am releasing tonight has somewhere to land. And what comes last you would not believe tonight if I told you plainly. So I will let it speak for itself when it arrives. But before any of it can rest in your hands, something in the way must come down. There are barriers, old ones, that have stood between you and what I prepared. You did not build them all yourself, but they stand in you nonetheless. In a moment, I will name them one by one, and then I will break them. Because naming and breaking are two different mercies. And tonight, you will receive both. Listen closely now, because I am about to show you why some who stand this close to their answer still walk away without it. The blessing can be ready, the hour can be right, and still a barrier inside the heart can hold everything at the door. I will not let that happen to you, so I will name each barrier plainly. 1. The first barrier is doubt. Doubt is a wall built one question at a time. Is this real? Would it work for someone like me? Does he even see me? Each question laid like a brick year after year, until the wall stands so high you cannot see over it. The answer waits on one side, you stand on the other, and the wall pretends to be wisdom. The second barrier is unbelief, and it is not the same as doubt. Doubt asks questions. Unbelief has stopped asking. Unbelief says flatly, "This is for other people, it works for them, never for me. I tried once and I know how it ends." When you speak that way, you are not protecting yourself from disappointment. You are sending the answer away at the gate. The third barrier is fear. The fear of hoping again. You have been let down, and now hope itself feels dangerous, like a ledge you once fell from. So you keep your expectations low and call it being realistic. But hear me. That fear has never once protected you from pain. It has only made sure that when the blessing came near, your hands were already closed. Fear is not a shield, it is a lock, and you are on the wrong side of it. The fourth barrier is passivity. There are those who want the blessing but will not rise to meet it. They wait the way a stone waits, wishing without asking, wanting without declaring, hungry but never reaching for the bread. My kingdom does not move for the passive. It moves for the ones who knock until the door opens, who reach for the hem of the garment, who call out even when the crowd tells them to be quiet. The fifth barrier is distraction. Of all five, this one has grown strongest in your generation. The enemy has learned that he does not need to destroy you if he can simply keep you occupied. Scattered attention receives nothing. Not because heaven withholds, but because the moment of receiving needs a heart that is present. Even tonight he has tried again and again to pull your mind elsewhere. Notice that it tells you what he fears. Now, my child, I will not name these barriers and leave them standing. Naming was mercy. Breaking is greater mercy. So receive what I do now. I break the barrier of doubt, every brick of every unanswered question. I pull it down. In place of that wall, I set certainty, not the certainty that you will never suffer, but the certainty that you are seen, held, and not forgotten. From this night, when the old questions rise, they will find the wall gone, and my voice standing where it stood. I break the barrier of unbelief, the lie that said this is for others and never for you. I strike it at the root. Who told you that you were the exception to my promises? That word did not come from me. You are not the one soul in all the earth. My goodness passes over. The blessing is for you, not because you earned it, but because you are mine. I break the barrier of fear. The flinch in your heart that pulls back from hoping, I take it from you now in its place. I set courage, the kind that dares to expect good again. You will not be ashamed for having hoped. Write that down in your heart. You will not be ashamed for having hoped. I break the barrier of passivity. I set hunger in you where numbness lived. From tonight, you will find yourself praying with an edge you had lost, asking with boldness, standing up on the inside. You will not sit at the edge of your own life, watching to see what happens. You will step into it because what I prepared must be taken hold of, and you will take hold, and I break the barrier of distraction. I give you back your focus, the scattered pieces of your attention. I gather them like a torn flock and bring them home. You will find quiet easier to enter. You will find my voice easier to hear. The noise will still exist, but it will no longer rule you. Feel what has shifted while I spoke. Something in your chest sits looser than it did. Something that pressed down has lifted its hand. That is not imagination. That is what it feels like when old walls come down after long years. Dust settling. Light entering rooms that had forgotten light. Now the way between you and what I prepared stands clear. Nothing of the old blockade remains, and what heaven held in readiness begins to move toward you tonight. Some of it will reach you quickly, some will arrive in steps, each one on time, but the direction is set, and it will not be reversed because I do not tear down walls in order to rebuild them. Guard what I have done in you tonight. When doubt tries to lay its first new brick, refuse it out loud. When fear whispers that hoping is foolish, answer it with what you have heard from me this hour. The barriers fell by my hand, but keeping them down is work we do together. You watching, me strengthening day upon day. And now I must change my tone with you, not from love to anger, never that, but from comfort to warning. For I told you at the beginning that two things were moving toward your life. The first was the answer, and you now stand ready for it. The second is a danger, quiet and patient. And the hour has come for me to show it to you plainly, so that it never lays a hand on what I have just set free. Hear this as a father's warning, spoken not to frighten you, but to cover you. There is a danger moving quietly toward your life, and its quietness is its power. It does not announce itself, it does not arrive with thunder. It comes in small decisions, in moments of distraction. In the hours when you believe nothing important is happening, that is exactly why I am speaking of it now, while there is still time to step aside. You have felt it already, though you gave it other names. A pull you could not explain. A small unease in a familiar place. A thought you pushed down because it seemed ungrateful or unkind. Those were not moods, my child. Those were my signals. I have been reaching for your attention through them for longer than you know. And now I am setting aside signals and speaking plainly. Understand how this danger hides. It does not wear a stranger's face. It hides behind comfort and routine. Inside habits you no longer examine. Inside places where you feel most at ease. What is familiar is not always what is safe. The net is never laid in front of the bird's eyes. It is laid where the bird has landed 100 times before and stopped looking. There is a person near your life whose influence is not aligned with your good. I say this carefully, for I am not teaching you suspicion, and I do not call you to harden your heart against everyone you know. But notice how you feel after certain company, lighter or heavier, clearer or more confused, closer to me or further away. That trace they leave behind them is a truer report than anything they say. Weigh the trace, not the words. There is also a pattern in you that this danger depends upon. You know the one. The way you trust too quickly when you are lonely. The way you rush when you feel pressure. The way you silence the small warning inside because you do not want to seem difficult or because you fear losing what you might need to lose. The snare is shaped to fit the habit, break the habit, and the snare closes on nothing. And mark this above everything else. A decision is approaching you. It will not look like danger. It will look like an opportunity, and it may even look like the answer to your prayers arriving at last. Something about it will press you to move quickly. And that pressure is precisely how you will know. What I send does not chase you with a whip. My gifts do not spoil in an afternoon. Learn the difference between two kinds of urgency, for one is mine and one is not. When I stir you, there is speed with peace in it, clarity that gathers as you move. When the other presses you, there is speed with confusion, a fog that thickens the faster you go, a voice hissing now or never. I am never in the fog. Anything that cannot wait for you to pray about it has already told you where it comes from. So when that moment arrives, and it will arrive looking ordinary, do this pause. Step back from the noise of it. Ask me openly, and then be still long enough to notice what rises in you. If there is a quiet resistance underneath the excitement, a small steady no beneath the loud, yes, honor it. That resistance is not fear, it is discernment, and it is one of the sharpest gifts I have placed in you. Do not be moved by how good a thing appears, for appearance is the cheapest part of any offer. Eve saw that the fruit was pleasing to the eye. The eye is easily satisfied and easily fooled. Let your judgment rest deeper than your eyes. What is truly from me can bear your questions, your patience, and your prayer. What cannot bear them was never yours to take. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a small thing. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description and the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. By doing so, you become part of a plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. There is also something you have been tempted to return to. Something familiar that once cost you dearly. It has been calling to you lately, wearing softer colors than before, sounding more reasonable than it used to sound. I helped you out of it once. I am asking you now not to walk back through that door. The pull you feel toward it is not homesickness. It is the snare, patient as ever, remembering your name. I tell you all this before it happens, so that when it happens, you will not hesitate. The situation will feel ordinary, almost familiar, and only one small detail will sit wrong. That detail is your signal. Most pass it by because it seems too small to matter. You will not pass it by because tonight I have taught you what it means, and do not receive this warning with dread. My child, receive it as proof of how carefully you are watched over. Many walk into the snare with no warning at all. You have been given yours in advance, spoken gently with time to spare. That is not the treatment of the forgotten. That is the covering of one who is dearly loved. I am not asking you to live watching your back. I am asking you to live watching my face, for those who watch my face see everything else in its true size. Fear will not be your guard on this road. Wisdom will fear jumps at every shadow and misses the real danger. Wisdom walks calmly and steps around it. You will not face any of this alone. I go before you into every room this danger could enter. I stand behind you at every door it could use. What I have shown you tonight has already begun to weaken it. For this kind of snare works only in the dark, and I have dragged it into the light. Speak the words, I trust you. If you are ready to walk where I lead, now let me deepen what I have placed in you, for a warning heard once fades. But wisdom planted grows. I am calling you into stillness, and I know stillness has not been easy for you. Your days are loud and your mind is louder, but it is in quiet that you hear me best, and it is in hurry that the snare does its finest work. So learn to be still, not as an escape from your life, but as the watchtower over it. When you slow down, you begin to notice what speed conceals. The small detail that sits wrong, the word that does not match the eyes that speak it, the offer that shines a little too brightly for what it claims to be. None of this is visible at a run. The still heart sees what rushing heart walks past, and from tonight yours will be the still heart. Learn also to tell your emotions apart from your knowing, for they are not the same voice. Emotions are weather. They rise and fall. They are stirred by a word, a memory, a poor night's sleep. But beneath the weather there is ground, a steady knowing I have set in you that does not shift with the sky. When a choice stands before you, do not ask only what you feel. Ask what you know beneath the feeling. The weather lies sometimes, the ground does not. This is the difference between reacting and responding. The one who reacts is moved by whatever moves, like a gate swinging in wind. The one who responds stands, considers, prays, and then moves once in the right direction. You have spent years reacting, and it has cost you. From this season on, you will respond. Where you once rushed, you will pause. Where you once ignored the whisper within, you will lean toward it and listen. Now hear me about the doors that have been closing in your life, for you have grieved some of them as losses. Not every closed door is a theft, my child. Some doors I close the way a father locks a gate at the cliff's edge. You stood on one side, pounding, asking why. I stood on the other side, holding the bolt, knowing what lay beyond. One day you will see what certain doors held back, and you will thank me for every one that would not open. And not everything that entered your life was meant to remain in it. Some people, some places, some works were given for a season, and their season has ended. Holding them past their time turns blessing into burden. The way manna kept overnight, bread worms by morning. Release what is finished. You are not being stripped. You are being lightened for the road ahead, and the road ahead is long enough to be glad of it. Watch your surroundings as well, for places shape souls more than souls admit. There are rooms where your spirit settles and hears clearly, and rooms where it scatters like startled birds. There is company that leaves you stronger, and company that leaves you strange to yourself. In this season, choose deliberately. Go where your clarity increases. This is not isolation. It is stewardship of the one heart you have been given to guard. Your relationships will shift as you grow, and I want you prepared for it so it does not wound you. Some who walked with you will feel far away, not through quarrel, but because you are no longer walking in circles, and they still are. Others, new ones, will draw near, sent by me, recognizable by their fruit. peace where there was tangling, clearness where there was fog. Do not cling to the departing or bar the arriving. Let the shift happen. I am in it. Some will not understand you in this season, and you must make peace with that. They will ask why you stepped back from what you stepped back from, why you no longer run at the old pace, why you weigh things now that you once seized. You do not owe the whole world an explanation for obeying me. A tree does not argue with the wind about why it grows toward the light and release. Once and forever, the need to please everyone. That need has bent more souls off their path than open evil ever did. For it wears the face of kindness. While it quietly hands your life to other people's expectations, you can honor others without obeying them. When peace and approval part ways, and they will part ways, choose peace. It is my voice's favorite dwelling. Do not fear the moments of uncertainty that will still come, for growth does not end them. If you are choosing peace over approval tonight, like this message to mark that choice. Subscribe, so this voice can steady you the next time peace and approval pull you in different directions. And type, "I choose peace," in the comments, so it becomes more than a private decision. Uncertain is not the same as lost. In those moments, return to what you have learned this night. Pause. Be still. Ask me. Wait for the clearness before you move. You are not required to be perfect on this road. You are required to be awake, and wakefulness forgives many stumbles. Already you are not who you were. A year ago, the pressure would have moved you. The flattery would have held you. The familiar snare would have taken you a familiar way. Something has changed in how you stand. You feel it, that quiet firmness where there used to be a swaying. That is my work in you, and it is not temporary. It does not depend on your mood surviving the week. It is becoming who you are. There is strength growing in you now of a kind the world rarely honors and heaven greatly prizes. The strength to pause when others rush. The strength to step back when others push forward. The strength to hold your peace when everything shouts. This strength will not make you loud. It will make you steady, and in the days that are coming, steady will be worth more than loud has ever been. Guard then these three things as you go: your clarity, your peace, and your focus. When your peace is disturbed, treat it as a signal and step back to find what disturbed it. When your focus scatters, gather it again without shame. When your clarity fades, come back to stillness, and I will meet you there as I have met you tonight. These three are your lamps on the road. Keep them burning, and no darkness on the path will manage to surprise you. Now lift your head, my child, for I have saved the best of this word for last, beyond the warning, beyond the barriers, beyond everything you are leaving behind. A new path is opening in front of you, and it is unlike any road you have walked before. When one way closes for your protection, I do not leave you standing in the field. Another way opens for your increase, and yours is opening now. You will feel at first as lightness, as though something you carried so long, you forgot its weight, has been lifted from your shoulders. Then you will notice your thoughts running clearer, your decisions coming easier, the fog thinning from questions that once kept you up at night. This is what alignment feels like, not fireworks. Rightness. The quiet turn of a key in a lock that was cut for it. A life settling at last into its intended place. New opportunities will come to you in this season, and they will not feel like the ones you were warned about. What I send arrives with peace, even when it is large, even when it is new. It will not corner you or count down at you. It will bear your prayers and your patience, and it will still be standing there solid and open after you have tested it. That is how you will know my hand on it. Take those doors boldly when they come, for hesitation has no more claim on you. What you avoided and what is coming are not alike. So do not let the memory of the snare make you slow toward the blessing. One carried hidden hooks beneath a bright surface. The other carries open good with nothing beneath it but more good. You will feel the difference the way your hand knows warm water from cold. Awareness was never meant to make you afraid of every door. It was meant to make you free in the right ones. And I say to you plainly, what is ahead of you is greater than what is behind you. The best chapters of your story are not the ones already written. I know the plans I hold for your life, plans for peace and not for harm, to give you a future and a living hope. I do not speak such words loosely, and I have never once spoken them over you loosely. The provision I told you of will begin to find you. The people I have positioned will begin to appear, and you will recognize them by the peace they carry into a room. The work I shaped you for will start to take form, first in glimpses, then in steps, then in a road you can see stretching ahead. None of it will come all in 1 hour, for I build to last, not to dazzle, but it will come, piece upon piece, and nothing appointed to you will pass you by. You are also being made ready for weight, and I mean this as honor. The clearness you have gained is not only a shield for you, it will become a lamp for others. There are people ahead on your road not yet met, who will find their way because you learned yours. Lead them gently when they come. Give freely what you were freely given tonight. A well is not dug for its own sake. The ones you love and carry in prayer. I have not overlooked them either. Your loved ones are written into this same mercy. Some of what I do in you in this season, I am doing precisely so that it overflows to them in ways you will watch with your own eyes and marvel at. Keep lifting their names to me morning after morning, even when nothing seems to move. Not one of those prayers is idle, and some are closer to their answer than you would dare to guess. Walk in consistency now, for this is how everything I planted tonight becomes a way of life. Wakefulness is not a single night's act. It is a daily walking in the small choices even more than the great ones. Return to stillness each day, even briefly. Keep choosing your company, your places, your thoughts with intention. What you practice will grow strong. What you neglect will grow faint. Practice what we built tonight. There will be days when you falter, and I tell you now so the faltering never turns to despair. You will miss a signal here, rush a choice there. Catch yourself sliding toward an old pattern. On those days, remember this hour, and remember that my patience with you is longer than your road. Correction is not rejection. Rise, adjust, and walk on. The one who gets up is never counted among the fallen. And when the answer arrives, and it will arrive, remember whose hand delivered it. Prosperity forgets more easily than hardship does. Let your plenty be as full of prayer as your lack was. Hold what I give you with open hands, ready to bless with it, and it will multiply in your keeping, held tightly. Even a blessing withers, held openly. Even a little becomes enough, and then becomes more than enough. So go from this hour changed. You came to it weary, carrying questions braced against hope. You leave it with the barriers broken, the warning received, the way cleared, and my word settled over your life, like a covering that no season can wear through. Nothing that has been spoken tonight will fall to the ground. I watch over my word to perform it, and I have never lost a promise yet. I am with you, not near you sometimes, with you always, in the decision that approaches. I am with you. In the doors now opening, I am with you in the quiet mornings, and the difficult afternoons, and the nights that once felt endless. I am with you, and the nights will not feel endless much longer. Go now in peace, but go awake, go gentle, but go strong. Let what you heard tonight walk with you into every room you enter, and let it be to you exactly what I intended it to be. Protection behind you, provision ahead of you, and my presence closer than your own breath all your days. Do not let this sacred moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. If you desire to deepen your connection, join Archangel Michael's inner circle immediately through the exclusive link in the description and the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community. This is how you guarantee you never miss the direct, personalized messages that are specifically meant to elevate and empower your life. But your presence, attention, and energy already mean the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.